Hello and welcome. For this episode of the Battle of the Parks, we have Legoland Windsor going against Legoland Billund. Windsor is a small screen, Billund is the big screen. On the minute, every minute they will rotate. Now, today's theme is all about pirates, so we're putting both pirate sections against each other. So you can see at Legoland Windsor, we're starting with the crocodile, and at Billund, we are starting up where you've got the pay-to-plays, and it will wrap round into all of the rides. You've got to keep your eyes peeled for the different kind of rides, because in Windsor, you have the log flume, whereas in the one in Billund, you have something completely different. Billund is a much, much bigger Legoland, so obviously the video is slightly longer with regards to what we see over there. And then I have added in on the bonus footage all of the actual pirate rides as well, because you get to see then how close the new Legoland set is to this actual ride at Legoland Billund. But you can see the log flume is just coming down now at Legoland Windsor, so keep your eyes peeled for the big splash in the bottom right hand corner. Billund does have a log flume, but is not pirate themed. It is in a completely different section of the park. Now, depending on if those squirting bits are working properly, you can get absolutely drenched. So where these people are sat, there's loads of buttons you can push, and then it will get you absolutely soaked. Now, the day that I went here, this was a bit of a schoolboy error on my behalf. I was testing the camera, and I soon realized that the GoPro is a lot better to walk around in than the Sony camera that I was using. So that is why it is a little bit shaky and juddery, but it is what it is. I've learned from my mistakes, and you can see just how much better it is. Now, bottom right-hand corner, that is their main water ride, and that you get absolutely drenched on. There's all the different like hose pipe bits. You can spin them around on the reel, and you can get drenched. And you got all these little mice that are targets. So if you are on that red and white boat, you will be absolutely drenched by the time you get off. There are warnings for you to get on that ride. You will not want to get on that ride unless it is gorgeous sunshine, because you will get soaking. Now, you can see at the time that they have been putting in these Legoland coffee cones. They've been dotted in all over the place as we are still walking around this central island. Now, to get round this, it is enormous. You can see you've got the big skull, and then you've got all of the queue line, which would be to the right-hand side. Around that and to the back of it, you've got a huge amount of seating area. And in Windsor, you can see you've got the pirate swing ship. Now, I'm hoping that they actually will do a swinging ship in a larger scale in a Lego set, because that'll work perfectly in my theme park. And again, you can see where we are now at Windsor in the bottom right-hand corner. That is a big play area, but that is more kingdom and sort of kingdom/pirate section. That is something that they don't have in Billund of that theming, but they do have that kind of thing there for the Litlands, but they don't have a swinging ship there, I do believe. So they don't have that in their pirate section, but they do have the little drop tower, which you can see the people going up and down on the rope, which they did used to have at Windsor, which was outside their observation bits and pieces in their imagination centre, and that's all been taken away. So there's lots of differences between the two parks, and there's lots of different rides within the theming. And I think what we will see, as long as I have actually filmed it when I was there on that day, the ride that they've got at Legoland Windsor for the Ninjago Destiny's Bounty, they have the exact same ride at Legoland Billund, but instead of it being Ninjago theming, it is actually all pirate theming, and it just looks completely different, apart from the ride is exactly the same. So it is a cool thing. So you can see there, look, you've got the Castaway Calf. So there are different bits and places to eat and different places to sit. Made up a new word on that one. So where we come around in this enchanted forest, there is a perfect picnic area that you can go in, and that wraps all the way around, and that takes you then to the kingdom section. But if we carry on going, you've got the swinging ship here directly in front of us. The log flume is behind that, and then we have a couple of more models and things to have a look at, where you can see you've got the refresh cone and everything going on up at the top. So Windsor in this part of the theme park is very, very strong, and it is very, very big. So you can see now we've obviously flipped back to Billund, and we are still walking round, and it warns you that you will get wet in a lot of different places, because the people on the ride can get you wet if you're stood too close to the outer edge. They did have that exact same ride at, I do believe, Legoland Florida, and that was under a completely different theming. That all got taken out, and then their new Lego Movie 2 section got added. But just look how wet that floor is, and you can see you've got all the little water pistols that you can hold on to, and you can basically battle each other as you go around. So you will I think I risked it and ended up getting my trainer soaking wet because the people on the boat are firing back at the people just there. So you can see the water shooting over up at the top, and that is who you battle against. So if you've got a good aim, or you can get the nozzle twisting around quick enough, you can then get a good reach. But you can see how all those people are actually waiting to get on. That's where the queue line goes up and over, then it goes down into the other side. And that also looks phenomenal for Halloween because they dye the water red, and that is some brilliant bits of theming. So in Windsor, if you were looking at that screen, you had a lot of models dotted around with all of the different pirates, and you had some treasure chests and things which I hadn't really spotted before. So I think they had been adding more and more different bits and pieces in. Obviously, as I get to the theme parks and different theme parks around the world, I will compare them over the years as well, which would be quite a nice thing. So we can have a look back at the different years of how the models were. So I have got a couple of those that I can actually do with Windsor, and I can try and get them like for like. But these things here, look, they're at the moment exactly the same. So you've got two different pirates with two different treasure chests, and they're both different photo opportunities. So you can see just how much bigger the pirate stuff is in Billund, and obviously the models are in Billund. And you've got, it's literally like for like. So we are almost in the exact same part for the same photo opportunity. That was just complete fluke, and they have got them dotted all over the place. So again, as you're going around in the one in Windsor, they do have a lot of models and things dotted up in the trees and all of the other little bits and places like that, which I think look really, really effective. Now, they were, at the time of me coming here, putting all of these tents up. Now, normally this is all open, and this is where you got all the benches. You can see the water in the background, which is a really nice place just to sit around, have your packed lunch, and then you can just listen to the water going about. But they were getting ready for something that weekend where they were selling different types of food and drink. So it was some sort of theming that they were going on about. I never did quite find out what that was, but if, as and when I ever go back to this park again, I'll make sure I'll find out as much information as possible. But whatever that is, let me know. I can't read it, but I'm sure hopefully some of you will know. Now, as we're coming through, if we look at the bottom, because we are slowly starting to run out of time at the one in Windsor, you've got the big spider, and you've got like basically their version of the very, very strong spinning teacups. And just behind that, you've got the Ninjago section, as we're having a look at the naked pirate. And there is the pirate with the big spider. Now, both of these parks have this spider. The spider obviously is located in the pirate section of Windsor, but it's also located, weirdly enough, right outside the haunted house, or directly over from the haunted house. And it's a huge scale spider, and the legs move or the lights light up. It's one or the other, the one in Billund. But you can see you've got some other models up on the roof, so you've got these other big spiders as well. And if you were to do the big walk up at Windsor, they did, at the time of me filming this, have the old spider. So obviously the new one is on top there at the moment, but they kept the old spider at the back, and it was a really nice thing to see because they had actually changed all the patterns and the colours on them. So that was always a nice thing to look at. But you can see the entrance onto that. The queue line for that one is absolutely massive when it wants to be. I know, talking to myself, because I did used to talk to the camera as I went round. Soon figured out it didn't work because you couldn't hear a single thing I was saying, and the music was just too loud. So that soon disappeared into a voiceover like I'm doing now. So just ignore my face, keep your eyes peeled onto this pirate wave. This is the pirate wave breaker. Now, this is what they've got at Legoland Windsor, but this is the Ninjago section. So this is the other bit. And again, model on model, another photo opportunity. So if you want to, that again, just better luck. It's very, very fluky, but they do have almost some of the same pirates as well. So we've already seen that pirate in Billund, but you can see the bit behind is where they're loading up the ride, and that ride just goes from left to right, and the actual boat spins a full 360 as it comes up and down. So if you've been to Legoland Windsor and you've seen the Destiny's Bounty in the Ninjago section, that is what that ship is. You can see that now is just going up in the background. It's a cool thing, actually. It's sort of tucked out the way, so there's not always a huge queue line for it, but you can see that is the Pirate Wave Breaker. And that is what that does. So if you get motion sickness, that might not be the one for you, but it takes up hardly any space whatsoever. I think they've added that recently into New York. I want to say that was another pirate theme as well, as we're looking at the huge pirate models to finish off at Legoland Windsor. Right, now, what we are going to do is we are now sticking at Legoland Billund just to see how big this thing is. I could cut this out, but all of this is still part of the same land. So to the left, that is still where that water ride is. You've got all of these little mice, and these are cool little things because these are the same characters that get used on the log flume at Legoland Windsor, and these are the things that spit water at you. They don't do that at this one, but they have added some of those into the other water rides. So again, you're going to get wet on that one. I keep saying that as a massive, massive warning to you. And then we've got a couple of minutes where we'll jump to the pirate ride, and then we'll go around that together, and I'll do my first ever voiceover on that ride. If you want to hear it with all the animatronics and everything else, just hunt the video down. There is a standalone video, all filmed in 4K as well, so it's really nice, bright and colourful, and you can see everything, you can hear everything, so you can hear like all the cannonballs and everything go off and things like that. But rather than just going silent, I thought I'd just go over everything with you because I want to see just how close the new Lego Pirate set is compared to what we're about to have a look at on the ride. Now, you saw how the other one finished at Windsor, where they had this musical playing. They've got the same one in Billund, but you can see the crew and the cast are completely different with regards to what it is for the Lego figure form. So hopefully in a second, it will then cut and we'll start to walk to the queue line of the ride, because like I said, all of this is still the pirate theme. We covered Windsor really, really quickly because it is sort of just like a big circle where you walk around, and let's just recap it. You've got the big burger place, then you've got the log flume, and then you wrap it up and round, then you've got the swinging ship, then you've got some more food bits, then you've got the spider's web. So that is basically where all these bits are. But we are now getting to the pirate boats. You can see how popular this will be because they've got the extended queue line out for certain days. Didn't have to worry about that because I just cut basically all of the queue off. So this is another ride that I missed before we actually get onto that ride. So what this is obviously this is their version of the spinning teacups as well, but instead of it being under the spider, it's under the pirate bit. So I think this works better because the other one is obviously got the spider. It is in the pirate section, so you would class that as being part of a pirate ride, even though it's just got one of those different theming on the top. Right, so we are away. So this is available in a longer video, completely by itself with full sound of all the animatronics if you want to listen to it. If not, stick with me. So it starts off with the shark. This is easy enough to follow, and you've got a person that's shouting at you in the middle. It's the castle directly behind. So the white castle with the tan base is the Lego set that is going to be coming out, and it is almost identical. So it's a remake of an older set, but it just seems to be that the new shape is very, very similar to this section of the ride, and this is what I want to create in my own theme park. So what I want to do is I've got some of the other pirate bits and pieces. I just want to get some of these little boats, have them on the water, and they just do a figure of eight around some little bits and pieces. But hopefully we might get some ideas as we go around together. So let us know in the comments below for a start if you've been to any of these theme parks and which one you prefer. Do you prefer Windsor or Billund with regards to the theming of the pirate section? Now, what I need your help with is for my own Lego city. And do you think I should do something like this? And are there any other older pirate sets I should backtrack just to add in a little bit more theming? Because you can see you've got all the powder, you've got the guns, they've got the prison section in, which they've added into the new set as well, which is obviously a really, really nice thing. So all of that, this thing that we're looking at right now is basically like for like of what the new set is going to look like, because it's amazing. Because you can see the person there waving the map around at the bottom. You've got some models hidden up in the top window. You've got all these crocs with the bridge. I have seen a set similar to this as well. So a lot of the Legoland rides are based on Lego sets that they used to sell back in the day. So they've got a lot of the exploration stuff. They've got a lot of castle. They've got a lot of pirate stuff. They've got a lot of the adventure bits and pieces. This was all of their own theming that they used, and they've sort of stopped making all the sets. Now, with the announcement of the new pirate set, it will be very, very interesting if they are going to remake some of the classic sets, because I think a lot of people, not only for like a nostalgia type thing, but I think the sets are just very, very good. And the fact that they're Lego's own type of thing, I think it would work really, really well in people's display, because I think the castle was a good success, and I think the new pirate thing is going to be a good success as well. So if you are a fan of some of the medieval type theming and the pirate theming, get down in the comment section and let me know what it is you would like to see either remade or just you would like to have in your own collection, just because it's just too expensive to backtrack. Now, like I said, this video I think is normally about 11 minutes long, but we've got about 2.5 minutes to go. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. As we go round, obviously we'll keep going with regards to all of the different models and things. But again, if you want to see this in further detail, get over to the other bit. Now that boat was available, and I think that might be something that is almost been added into the new pirate set, because I recognize the flag on that one, and obviously you can recognize some of the characters as you go around. They've all got the blues and the whites, and you've got all the Captain Redbeard and everything like that. And obviously there is a Captain Redbeard exclusive at the Lego house now as well, which I will have to get and add into the pirate display smack in the middle with the water going around it, because it is literally this character that is in almost every single scene that we see. So it's the oversized minifigure as the Lego house exclusive. There is also another oversized minifigure currently that you can build on the Lego website that is the same pattern and color to what you see outside the Lego campus, and that is something that is on my wish list to get as well. So I will try and pick up one of those for myself, and I know there's at least one other person. So Ozzy, I know you want one of them for your own collection, so I'll be picking you one of those when I get over to Billund. Anybody else that needs any of the Lego house exclusives, let me know now in case I make a last second ditch for a same day flight just to go over to have a look around the Lego house, because it's super, super close and easy for me. So I'm very, very spoiled with regards to just how simple it actually is. But all of this is kind of the idea of what I want to do for my own theme park display. But I just love how almost peaceful it is when you get on this ride, because the boats are spread out nicely. Obviously, it's all got animatronics and it's all got noises. You can hear all the water going around in the background, and you've got all like the animatronic crabs running around and everything like that. But because it feels like you're so far out of the actual theme park, it's just a perfect respite ride as well, because they have got one of these at Windsor, but it is the Fairy Tale Brook ride, which is right beside the Duplo section, so it's packed all the time. It's a nice little ride, but it is much smaller than this, and it's just in that location, which is very, very busy with much younger demographic. So it's not like this whatsoever. So I much prefer this layout with regards to going through and round than I think the Fairy Tale Brook ride. But you can just see how nice and clear the weather was. I was very, very spoilt with the weather. But obviously, if you get off this ride and it's absolutely pouring down, you're going to be trapped on this boat from this point onwards all the way back to the start of the queue line. But guys, that is it. I am done. So as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.